Hello, everybody. This is Apple Treats Season 3, Episode 4, WWDC edition, probably. We called it spatial computing, but we won't be talking about spatial computing until the end of the episode. Let's
Special.
Special.
Very special.
Yeah. I actually, I want to hint here. My opinion might be a little bit different from what you are currently reading in the tech blogs or Twitter. So I might be sounding a little bit different from all the doomsayers and people saying that this platform will die in a year or two. So let's wait until the end of the episode, and I will try to prove my point there, at least from my perspective. But so yeah, we are talking about WWDC. We're talking about all the announcements Apple made during this conference, and actually, I still have my you have your cat, but I still have my playlist for the sessions we need to. I need to watch myself, so I'm still not through all of them. Even I had time to get to some of the sessions, but I still, and moreover, even that spatial computing sessions are also on the list. A couple of those I still need to.
I removed all of them from my list, and even though I have about 10 hours of video that I have to watch.
Right. I propose we will start with some things which are really technical. We will probably lose some audience, but before we do that, if you're watching us live, just put your impressions on WWDC. What announcements did you enjoy? What announcements made you cry? Whatever you want to share, put them in the chat. We will go through those and we will discuss them as well. But let's start with Swift. Swift is a programming
Just
language,
Swift.
Swift
okay.
and everything which is probably really related to Swift. And maybe even start with Swift macros, because I think this announcement was we all knew that macros are coming, because that open process, the evolution the discussions of the macros started a long time ago, but they actually were key to a couple of features which were announced on WWDC. So let's maybe start with macros, and
similar to what we had with what? With view builders,
result builders.
Yeah. Result builders, yeah. Back in 2019 when SwiftUI was announced.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah. However, macros finally welcome Swift in the world of big programming languages. We have macroses. So
you're talking from the Rust perspective, right?
Yes. I do.
Because we can remember C, which also has macros. So just for those who don't know, Swift macros and Rust macros are not in the same league as the C macros.
It's not like preprocessor macros. They do something they do a similar job. So they just generate a code which you're previously predefined, and it works like template. So you just fill some places. However, so this was the description for C macroses. So just a template, and that's it. Talking about Swift and Rust, so what you do there, during compilation, you run your own code to generate more code. Finally. So we, instead of, generating mocks the build phase or in your CI pipeline, this can be part of your compilation just because of these macros.
Yeah.
The good example they provided is with improvement in observable. So replacing observable property wrapper and observable object protocol, we finally have just single macros observable, which generates some piece of code which observes changes in the object and notifies about these changes. Sounds very good.
Exactly. So observation API is actually a good example of like usage of those macros. So you just put the observable macro and that or bindable macro, like they all work with the similar things. There are a couple of things though which you might need to read because like there are a couple of things where you might expect that observation will work, but it won't. But like again, those that particular moment is stated in the documentation. I also mentioned that on Twitter, and there are a lot of talks about that. But that particular thing will require you to make smaller views instead of like one big view with all the elements. But again, just keep in mind, observation works a little bit different, like slightly less intuitive in one particular aspect. But
I don't know. So Apple said that if you so finally you can write code as you want and it will work. This is their statement, as usual.
Right.
I believe they said the same about SwiftUI in the first version. So finally you can migrate. No, not yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we will talk about the announcements in the SwiftUI part because there are a lot of things there, and most of those things were like slight improvements, and hopefully the stability will also improve. But time will tell. One more feature, one more framework was inspired and was probably like it could only exist with macros is the SwiftData, which is most of the developers who work with some kind of data, structured data in their applications, really waited for a long time. So we all had core data, which is Objective-C based framework, which works with storages, including SQLite storage. And now we finally have Swift native API with the models declared in code. Like we kind of probably might remember Realm, right?
Well, 10 years ago they did this. So finally, Apple, welcome here.
The thing is, like you might probably, if you didn't watch the sessions, you might probably think that it's a totally new framework with totally different everything. Well, not exactly. So the storage actually the same as the core data, and not just the same, but it could also be shared between core data and SwiftData in the same application. So I would probably call SwiftData as kind of new front end for the same persistence, storage configuration, and everything. Moreover, like if you used core data with the CloudKit integration, so you like used iCloud, it will also work. So good job. I mean, I think that's actually a good thing because like you can probably start migrating like gradually. And moreover, just one more thing, SwiftData will not be backported to the previous releases. You will have to update your minimum target to the current releases of the macOS, iOS, and other platforms. Well, that's unfortunate because there were a couple of things which were backported. Like there are even some new callbacks which will be backported to the previous iOS releases. So we will talk about UIKit here. Apart from that, core data is strongly typed, model declared in code, and it uses new strongly typed predicates, which is again something really nice.
SwiftData, not core data.
Sorry, exactly. Well, I mean, we all know that it's we now all know this is basically core data. Yeah, but it's like with the new shiny Swift front end. Nicely done. I think it's still a really good thing to do. And the only probably bad thing I saw there is the schema migration. So like, when you use the application and you need to publish an update, you need to migrate the existing storage to a new schema. And with the core data, it more or less okay. You declare new schema, you declare new classes, and it like some changes it could merge automatically without you doing anything. With the SwiftData, you need to put your model classes inside the schema container class or container enum, and you need to declare those migrations like in code. And that's probably a bad thing because you need to spend a lot of time declaring those schemas. And just one thing to remember, your code needs to keep all the classes for the old schema and for the new schema, and for all the schemas from the start of the applications, if you want to support those migrations.
But this is good. So because I remember how migrations were done in Realm. So you just had the opportunity to read your old object as a hash, as a dictionary, which is not very safe.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Well, so again, like this.
Probably you can write some macros for fast migration.
I think there's something will be like I expect more articles covering this topic like emerge during the summer. So I think there will be more and more information on this. Okay, the next thing, which is also related. So
we need to talk about another framework that's finally going start its migration to Swift. It's Foundation.
Oh, right, yeah.
This is pretty old piece of news. It was announced back in end of April, I believe. But it was just a small announcement. Oh, we're gonna migrate this. But now I checked source code, and the good thing that they started from boring stuff, because for me personally, I would like to see their implementation of URL session and etc. Because existing open source implementation of Foundation, which is supposed to be used on Linux, it doesn't support any structured concurrency calls for in Foundation. And recently, I and my colleague, we tried to find what will happen if we cancel a task which inside calls URL session data method. Will it cancel a request or not? And I want to see code, please, Apple. So However, they stated that they improved a lot in calendar by just rewriting all this stuff in Swift. And the second is just because probably they slightly revisited their implementation, improved it somewhere. So even in some cases, even Objective-C calling this new foundation, like new Swift Foundation, works faster than previous version of Objective-C Foundation.
Yeah, and that actually brings like more opportunities to put Swift to other platforms, including Linux and Windows and other. And next topic will be heavily related to that. So Apple was talking about C++ interoperability for a long, long time. And now they actually delivered it. It's not finished. It's not like set in stone. They will be working more. But they already have a lot of stuff in calling Swift from C++ and calling C++ from Swift. They had a couple of sessions
types, in that. As far as I remember. And passing types.
So a couple of types will be passed properly. For example, C++ iterators will be passed as collections, and therefore you will have Swift safe way of dealing with the C++ vectors and everything. On the other hand, strings I think also will be passed properly according between the platforms. And the interesting thing there is they actually mentioned that FoundationDB already started using Swift for some of the places where they previously used C++.
Yeah. So it was fun. So they just stated, and also not iOS and macOS, but also FoundationDB gonna use Swift. But let's remember that FoundationDB is an Apple project, which is also open sourced under Apple on GitHub.
Yeah.
So,
but still,
this is good because this is pretty big.
Yeah.
This is pretty big stuff. It's a big distributed key-value database storage, and it's obviously that instead of using these very nice and beautiful languages, C++ is not like their primary goal now, since they have this beautiful Swift with different stuff, and simply just more people can start contributing into FoundationDB by just having it in Swift. I'm not sure that a lot of people are ready to contributing now into, I don't know, Swift Package Manager that is purely written in Swift, etc. However, having this opportunity and having an opportunity to check code which you understand instead of C++, it's very interesting. And they mentioned that they also starting rewriting some of their stuff like in Swift compiler with Swift, just because so previously it was written in C++ purely, and now you can gradually replace some parts with Swift code just because they can talk to each other. Beautiful.
Yeah, they also announced a couple of macros, I believe, which you can, basically you can annotate your C++ code so it will be more expressive in the C world, or sorry, in the Swift world. So there are a couple of things you can add to your code and then basically will work nicely together. But apart from that, it's a really good thing. I kind of expect that, that might actually bring some more attention to C++, because you can probably now use C++ as some kind of cross-platform library, which you can use from
Finally,
and from
no more Dart and JavaScript. Thanks God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we will see. I mean, I'm not sure that will actually happen, because like C++ needs more attention sometimes. But I think that that's still a good thing to have these two languages like Swift and C++ working as working together nicely without doing a lot of opaque pointer transitions and everything. So it's a good thing.
Okay, there are two more updates that are one. I don't know. I don't understand this, but probably this is important for someone. And second one, this is what I like. So first one is proposal SE0393, value and type parameter packs.
Oh, yeah.
So this stuff with introducing more weird keywords, that is each, repeat
each,
and other stuff. So do you have any idea why they need this? For example, for macros, we now see they use it in SwiftData.
Yeah.
Why they need these in Swift now?
So I think the only reasonable case for that is simplification of result builders. So previously, in order to combine multiple statements within one block, you need to have multiple functions with different number of parameters in order to capture all of those. And now you can have one function which can handle different parameters. And the thing there is not the variadic parameters per se. So it's the thing is that you can have different types for those parameters, and you can still preserve the type information. So this is without having them all cast to any something. So I don't think this particular feature will be heavily used by regular developers. I mean, probably somebody could correct me here, but I think this is more for stuff like result builders, and maybe something where you need methods to be able to deal with really many parameters being there. And I don't see any other use cases actually.
Or we just haven't seen this session yet, so probably we'll
I've seen it, and they basically were talking about result builders, obviously, but no other significant here you can do what you previously could not do without this particular thing.
Okay, and second thing is about structured concurrency. So finally, we can implement custom executors, custom actor executors. So we had some interfaces, some protocols for this previously. I looked a lot into this for very, very simple reason. I just wanted to make my structured concurrency code more testable, to create a test executor which works in a single thread. So I don't need to wait for results. I will definitely try to implement my own. And the good thing that they added support or easy support of dispatch queue. So you can declare dispatch queue and say that
Yeah.
this dispatch queue will be your executor in
That's
some
great.
particular actor. So we definitely can try doing something custom, at least for testing, because this
Yeah.
is a pain point for me.
They actually also mentioned that this particular thing might be interesting if you're building for the constrained environments. For example, you have very limited amount of resources on a specific embedded device, and you just basically do not have multi-threading there, and you can still have benefits of those having this one single thread an executor. And so again, this makes you think about Swift as a not just Apple platform language. So you probably can have something. Yeah, I
This
know you'll
makes you
probably mention
dream
Rust.
about this, not
Yeah.
not thinking about this.
Yeah, well, at least you baby steps.
Yeah.
Let me probably also mention another feature which was powered by macros, the previews, the new previews in
Yeah.
SwiftUI and now UIKit as well. So you can build your views and view controllers in both frameworks and have a Xcode preview feature available. And just one thing, like if you are asked a question like how UIKit is different from SwiftUI, you cannot now tell like that SwiftUI uses previews and UIKit doesn't. No, there are other different features, and like if you are on the technical interview and you're asked this question, think more about differences. Like remember the declarative nature of the SwiftUI and everything. So. Apart from that, this is actually pretty cool, and like previews are now much easier to write in code. You simply write like hashtag preview, and you can submit some configuration there, and it works just nice. Let's maybe go through a couple other maybe user.
What's else in your list?
Yeah. I also wanted to talk about the watchOS, and here we will not be talking about the frameworks or anything, but rather design language changes there. So Apple keeps iterating on the watch in terms of how to make the interface work on the small devices, and they now changing more like horizontal screens towards the vertical screen. So they now have vertical tab bar which you can scroll using your digital crown or using the finger, and if screen is more than like the screen size of the watch, you scroll the screen and then it switches to another tab. So it's a they also changed the placement of the buttons, so you can now put buttons on the navigation bar in the Apple Watch. Again, that's probably okay for the bigger watches. I'm not exactly sure how it will work with the smaller watches, like the 38-9 models, 40 millimeter models.
Maybe it's time to drop them. And
Yeah.
Shiny ultra.
yeah. And they also added a thing which is the like the widgets are from the iPhone now coming to watch as well, like fully supported widgets, like big widgets, not just complications.
They're coming everywhere.
Yeah,
Actually.
and yeah. By the way, we will be talking about widgets in the like soon again. So and these widgets will also like they have the smart stack which like show you most relevant widget and so on, which reminds me of the Siri watch face, which actually did probably the same thing. So it was showing you some kind of widgets, like not these widgets but like small tiles with the information which should be relevant to you. So it seems that Siri watch face is being like essentially replaced by these smart widget stacks, and these smart widget stacks will be accessible on the watch face again with the digital crown or finger swipe there. The thing is that they also replacing the control center, so it now will be accessed by the button rather than the swipe from the bottom of the screen.
I will suffer from this.
Yeah, so the motoric memory is actually like I was using this one single press on the button for recent apps. So now you will probably need to do something else. And again, We'll see. We'll see how it will work. The thing I would wanted to share here is that Apple still iterates and thinks about the interface. It's not that they like finally found the solution for watch. So we'll see how this interface will work in the long run. But from first looks, it looks nice. The only thing is like if you need to scroll a lot vertically, well, I don't know. It's still not fully natural for me. I mean, like you still need to pack much less content for the watch in order to keep user like show the proper content instantly rather than have him or her scrolling through the multiple screens and finally getting to your content. So I don't know. I mean,
next year, Apple.
Yeah.
A Swift playground for watch.
Right. Let's maybe mention another thing. The SwiftUI actually. Yeah, let's talk about SwiftUI. A couple of announcements: Store Kit, Map Kit, a couple of other things, and like specific views for SwiftUI, which is good. Again, these views will be available only for this release, but still good.
The only thing that I accept as a progress in SwiftUI is just open sourcing of SwiftUI. Then we can make it better.
By the way, I promised to say something about the UI kit. Probably you all knew this, like placing your code into view will appear, view did load, like appropriately. There is another callback, view is appearing. And
gradually.
Yeah. So, and actually they say that this callback should replace your code from view will appear, because in this callback traits are installed for the UI views, and that's important. And moreover, like, okay, new callback, now I need to put like some code in the previous releases. Like, no, this callback will be backported to, I think, iOS 13. So they actually did this. So they were able to put the...
So they can do this, finally.
Yeah.
Thanks, Apple. In my list, I have something very interesting for me. So CK, Sync Engine. So Sync Engine for CloudKit. And this is what, like, how it should be done, I don't know, a while ago when CloudKit was implemented. So because they say either if you want to have out of the box this functionality, use core data, and if you don't like core data, suffer and implement this by yourself. So from the first glance, this looks like replacement for my custom sync engine, which I tried to implement and not finished because it's a very huge topic. So I will give it a try.
Yeah, definitely. This seems to be an interesting case for the CloudKit usage. And like from the first look, it looks like exactly as you said. You can now have your sync without the core data, and that seems to be an interesting idea. Okay, we are coming to the topic which I want to talk a little bit more.
I have one more topic.
But we also, and I also have another one. And let's start with yours now, and I will...
Okay. I haven't seen this session yet, but it caught my attention by its title. So it's Push Notification Console. So it's a separate service for testing push notifications. Yeah. So no more ugly shell scripts with converting all these P12 files into SER and DER and key. Oh, finally! Because
however, if you do CI testing for pushes, then you will still need that command line tools. Yeah. But interactive testing, it's much easier. The console looks nice, and that will help a lot with the actual push notification test. So you currently can test it on the simulator by just placing payload to the simulator, but like with the devices that won't work.
But the good thing that on ARM Max, simulator register in IPNS, so you can send notifications to simulator without any issue.
Yeah. Okay, the next section, like on my list, is called expectations for a new weird devices. let me explain.
Spatial.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not about the Vision Pro. It's a little bit different. So what I'm seeing here, Apple announced a couple of frameworks and tools. For example, iPhone standby mode. So if you put your iPhone to charging and put it into horizontal position like landscape, it will show you widgets full screen, and it will. There are a couple of other some like watch clock widget. Like you can have photos and you can write your own widgets, and they can you can set up multiple widget screens for the standby mode, which is, well, I mean, it's nice, but why? Okay.
Why not?
Well, I mean, you can, reasonable use case, you can put your
I have an answer for you, because previously we used as a nightstand mode our watch.
Yeah, and that was terrible.
But two versions ago, they introduced sleep tracking. So in general, you don't put your watch as a nightstand. No, it was okay actually. So, but I've been sleeping in my watches since Apple Watch 4.
Right.
So I mostly never use this functionality. But my phone is always near me, in my bedroom. So maybe for me that would be nice.
Right. And one more thing. So if you put that to the MagSafe charger, it will remember the widget configuration which you used with this particular charger. So, like, for example, if you put that on the charger at your work desk, it will show you a calendar, and on your near your bed, it will show you clock or whatever. Okay, nice.
My door charger will not remember it. Sorry.
Next,
but I will find a way to put it in some way.
Yeah. You still need to put it properly. The dock kit, another new framework which will allow your phone to control motorized dock, and it will allow you to position the camera in a way so it will track you. Again, it's an interesting framework. It's a nice idea, but why? Do we have a lot of motorized docks, or do we expect them to hit the market this fall? Let's keep that in mind yet. I mean, it's not the end of all the things there. Well, they showed some dock, yeah.
But yeah, they showed this dock, but what we can think about is just about different stuff related to, sports tracking or dance tracking, etc. This use case with using your phone as a camera for FaceTime on Apple TV, this is the simplest case.
Yeah, so that's exactly the next topic, the Apple TV continuity camera, basically allowing your Apple tvOS applications to use the camera. It's not really important if it's continuity camera or just the camera, but you will have an ability to use camera on your Apple TV or tvOS. And now this is all speculations, but what I'm thinking from all of these frameworks being available is that we are experiencing something like new home targeted device from Apple to appear soon, which will have camera, probably will have screen, and maybe be working on something like tvOS, for example, HomePod. There were rumors.
Home dock.
Yeah, well, dock something, whatever. I mean, you probably might want to have this kind of device, not put your iPhone there always, but rather have separate device which will be focused on the control of your smart home, maybe doing some FaceTime calls, maybe showing you some information along the way, like some Nest devices had with the screens. Again, Apple probably will be doing a little bit different. They might have some privacy considerations and everything, but I didn't see that in any journalists saying that this is the case, and Apple already works on that. But having all of these frameworks contribute towards an idea of having a device with the camera, with the screen, and running some kind of tvOS based operating system. So Again, these are just speculations. Don't use your money on this. Like, don't buy stocks just because you heard this. But I'm still thinking
Whatever
this
you
might.
want. We just
Yeah.
don't give you advice.
It's not an advice, but it seems so. Like these all like the I know like full screen widgets in the standby mode. This all looks like something which could be happening. I mean, that's something I expect to see. And again, this is not related to the next big topic we are going to discuss, and this the naming stuff as well. I mean, I think it's important then to discuss.
But so yeah, we were looking for this session. So having this stuff with docs and etc. There is a separate session called Support External Cameras in your iPadOS app. So we can connect iPad camera to iPad.
Right. Yeah, that's also a thing. And probably maybe we will... again, iPad might gradually replace notebooks more and more with this.
By the way, what do you think about a new way to airdrop? Just bumper drop.
Yeah, that's reminds me one application which died a long time ago, but it was like in the early iPhone era when you could do fist bump and share the contact information, and there was no airdrop there. Everything works through the internet, but they used accelerometer on both devices, and they like basically calculating the moment two devices clash to each other, check the GPS.
Location.
And then went. It was fun. So.
Do you remember like their web version, like on PC for that service?
No, that's
you had to tap with your phone by space button. That was beautiful. That was really beautiful.
So they actually those guys were able to mitigate the like limitations and did that beautifully. I mean that it's kind of sad that idea went away. I mean it's obviously it should have, but like it's still. They have creative ways of implementing stuff, and I really enjoyed the idea and the implementation part there. I think it was even mentioned by Apple on one of the keynotes. I'm pretty much sure I saw it on the keynote. Okay.
Good old days.
Yeah. So, but apart from that, it's actually kind of interesting, and it might like your name drop, like basically share your contact information. Probably long overdue. Like I probably would be much easier if that was, I don't know, 5 OS releases ago to easily share your contacts. And again, like you might have a lot of contacts there, but you probably need to mark some of them as like public, some of them are private. But for example, you might list your home address there in order for your car to drive you there, but you probably don't want to share that home address with everybody. Like, I don't know.
We'll check.
We'll see how it will work. Okay, let's we have the final segment of this show, and finally. So we will be talking about the Vision Pro, and we all expected it to be called Reality Pro and XR OS. Okay, it's Vision OS in the keynote, but it's XR OS in most of the WWDC sessions. Yeah. And it's XR OS in and in the code which was leaked and like mentioned there. So it's the Apple still doesn't know how to properly call this platform. But okay, well, that never mind. Let's assume that they are just dealing with all the trademarks.
This XROS was from, as far as I remember, from New Zealand, because Apple registered trademark in New Zealand. So probably after that they decided, let's rename this.
Okay. So what we were talking previously, we were talking that this device might have the external screen which will show your eyes, and we were like skeptical about that. Well, turns out that's true, and they call it eyesight.
It looks creepy.
It looks creepy, but just full disclaimer, I didn't wear those and I didn't see them in reality, as I was not able to get to in-person event for this year. Well, so we will still need to wait until that. But the idea is nice, and couple of rumors which we know already that in 2025 Apple plans to have more affordable version, but it seems like, according to the rumors, that they are not going to sacrifice this eyesight feature. So this will still be even in more affordable version. And again, by saying more affordable, it doesn't mean it will cost less than $1,000. It will still probably cost like about $2,000, but it will be more affordable than $3,500 starting price, which is
But my iPad with the stylus and keyboard, it cost me about 2,000. So it's okay to pay 2,000 for such kind of device, but 3,500, too much, not for me.
One interesting thing. So let's maybe talk about the use cases here. Like again, we were talking about that previously, and we were talking that the like iPadOS might be powering this device in terms of the applications. Turns out not only iPadOS but iOS as well. So the applications from both of them will be able to run with some limitations. So some things will be able to run, some things will not be able to run. It depends. However, what I would like to mention here, that this is actually an important part of Apple bringing this device to market. So they are not calling it headset. They are not calling this, AR, VR device. They are calling it spatial computing device. And while it's very verbose term, I think that clarifies the idea behind it. It's a standalone spatial computing device. So you don't need anything to run your applications there. And it's not just games or AR experiences. It's actually your application. And they were focusing a lot on the business cases, like running your Safari with like 2D pages and some 3D content attached to it when you have that. Or you're running your keynote presentation and you can even do rehearsal with some kind of additional experience or anything like that. So they didn't have much of the like killer feature. Well, maybe the entertainment part was kind of cool, but it still doesn't convince you as this is something, this particular feature will be like the important part. The thing is, they were showing this future when you don't need your desktop monitor anymore. That's probably the killer feature. So what you will be having as a device, which doesn't need, well, you can attach a keyboard if you want to type quicker. That's probably a reasonable thing to have. Especially they have the on-screen, well, it's no longer on-screen keyboard, it's like floating keyboard, floating in the air keyboard. Yeah. It looks nice, but I think your hands will feel very tired quite soon. But apart from that, it's still
you connect your hardware keyboard.
Yeah, you can use Bluetooth keyboard, and that will work perfectly. So again,
and after that, so today we agreed that I'm supposed to be a bad cop. However, this particular stuff with external keyboard connected to this thing, this is something similar what I experienced with iPad and Magic Keyboard with a trackpad. So this makes this device, okay, it cannot replace a device for my work. And unfortunately, like in comparison to iPad, taking into account that I spent a lot of time on meetings, it cannot replace device for me, because iPad I can use for meetings. I can use Vision Pro as well. However, listening about this digital avatar where they try to use your face, photo and scan of your face as your avatar.
We need to see how it works. I mean, it's an interesting thing, and moreover, this digital persona will work differently, like with the 2D screen, and they also will have the 3D representation as well.
I'm okay to put motorized dog somewhere here and let my iPhone to be a camera.
So let's talk. By the way, let's talk about cameras. That's an interesting topic. I mean, some people might expect like the device which has 12 outward facing cameras, and I think 4 inward facing cameras will provide you with as a developer with a lot of applications, like you can use a lot of cameras. Well, no, none. You can I'll explain myself here. You do not have access to any of the cameras per se. You have an access to a virtual camera, which will be like facing to you towards your face, and it will not show like the exact image coming from the camera, but it will show that digital persona image. That's the only camera you can access as a developer on the Vision Pro, at least with the current state of the platform. So they potentially might expand that. That's probably might have some ideas on how to make it work. But as of now, even it has really high resolution cameras which will able to take pictures and like 3D videos. That's only supported by the platform itself. So you probably need to press that physical button on the headset in order to trigger that camera image. So no, you can't use those cameras at all. And that's, well, maybe concerning. Like, how would I create those, experiences? How will I work with the image camera? Like, well, you have ARKit. However, you have Reality Kit as well. Like this.
Are you saying that we should not expect a new version of Halide on Vision Pro?
Yeah, you should. Well, unless you just want to take pictures of yourself. Moreover, it's not yourself, but rather mathematical model of yourself. Yeah. So what? By the way, another thing, ARKit for the Vision OS is not the same as ARKit for iOS. It's different framework. It has the same name, but it has different API, different ways of working with things. And interestingly, I don't know why, but when Apple presented ARKit for the Vision OS, they highly emphasized that it has Swift and C versions of the framework. And they were showing C API all the way. For the ARKit.
API is necessary for such stuff as Unity and Unreal Engine.
So Unity is also supported, and they mentioned that the Unity will be supported.
They had a session, separate session.
Several sessions, moreover. Yeah, like gaming and the immersive experiences and everything. They said zero information about Unreal Engine. However, Unreal Engine guys already updated their SDK with like constants for the Apple hardware, something like that. I'm not sure if they will be actually able to properly support it, but I think they will try at least to be quite quick on this. I do not expect to have.
So if they have access to the C API,
yeah, I don't think they will have any support from Apple though. Well, besides like regular developer feedback assistant requests, which are like
2 requests per year.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's focus on another thing. Again, like thinking about this spatial computing thing, I was saying like my vision is like in 10 years, we will not be using monitors, well, at least most of the time. It will be a thing of the past, and we will be mostly, at least as engineers or business managers or anything, or let's put it that way, office workers who are currently using computers. We will be mostly using new iterations of these kind of the devices. So they probably will become much lighter. They probably might be like just as glasses or whatever, and they will not be coming only from Apple. There will be competition here as well. So we know the Quest has something like that, but their device technology does not allow you to read anything there. It's simply you will be damaging your eyes if you will try to read something from that. So you need like superior display technology in order for this to be like work machine, like you will be working with the text, with some graphics, with anything. So again, in 10 years, like I will put my predictions here, and like somebody will be able to find me and like point me to this video. Hopefully, we will not delete it by the time, but they can say like, yeah, you predict. I expect this to be like mainstream device for work in 10 years. I'm not talking about entertainment. Maybe not. It's a different topic. But as a device for the business, as a device for the enterprise, this seems to be perfect thing to like get rid of all of your monitors and still be more or less in private. You can work with a lot of information. You can have a lot of screen space. You can have a lot of applications running at the same time, and they could be 2D applications like working with text. They could be 3D applications running in parallel, and you will be able to, well, I mean, I expect more use cases to be working with the 3D objects coming soon. So I'm again saying this from the perspective as a business user. I mean, I definitely think this will happen soon.
We find that we can create a virtual version of Siri as a paperclip, of course, staying here.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the Siri will have more attention in next years again, because we actually hope to see Xcode Cloud with the Copilot X capabilities or new something in Siri, and we only I think have a better autocorrect, which should be.
No. So there are two different. So there are two different things. One for iOS, one for iPadOS. On iOS is just it's autocorrection, and on iPadOS, like autosuggest. I think it will be more like not just one word, but more words. So like some phrases.
Yeah, you can basically write text. And we'll see again how it will work.
But this was the only time when they mentioned LLM, and that's it.
Yeah.
And even they called it somewhere like something else. I don't remember.
I think they were referring this to BERT mostly, like not the like. And again, you cannot run full LLM on the iPad; you will drain battery, and even if you run small versions of those. Just one more thing in regards to the spatial computing and everything. So they emphasized SharePlay as a part of that experience, and one thing they focused on is like. Currently, you will only be able to have a conversation between no more than 5 users. However, they thought about how to make it work so that you can place your content like movie screen or I don't know, whiteboard, and you're standing around that whiteboard like side by side, or you put an object like on the table and you're standing around the table. And like discussing that, or the content is somewhere nearby and you are like talking to each other. So that was 3 templates for the communication in the headset, or spatial computing device.
Let's call it headset. It will be much
easier. Yeah, well, for now, yes, at least. But I'm trying to accommodate myself. I mean, this is interesting. So they already thought about the templates for this like collaboration work. 5 people is probably not too much, but on the other hand, it's probably more or less okay in order to keep the conversation like up to date and not like splitting into separate groups and everything.
I believe that if you have more than 5 people in a meeting, probably this meeting should be an email thread.
Yeah, and moreover, like if you have, 10 people wearing these devices, that's quite a rich organization to be. Well, apart from that, so basically, and we probably also need to mention that I was going through the design considerations and like the development topics. They're focusing on a couple of ways you can build your application within this platform. So you can have the 2D windows, which will be floating somewhere on your space around you. You can have volumetric windows, which is basically like a cube, which you can put any 3D content in, and it can also be interacted with. So you can do something. And the next thing is like immersive experience, where you take over, like all other applications go away and only your content is shown. That doesn't mean that this will be hiding the room, so you can still like show the information from around you, but you're controlling everything you see. So you can place a lot of 3D objects, you can interact with them, or like they show with the movie viewing, you just put a user into virtual environment, and like he or she or they enjoy the experience with the with your content.
Just one application which I want to move into this. So memory graph from Xcode. Just
Yeah.
all
I
these
was
objects, they are floating around you.
I was hearing something about Jira.
No, please no.
Yeah, but yeah, it could be the case. So again, like Apple focused on a lot of this stuff, like how you will interact with this thing. And from my perspective, this design language is much more thought through rather it was with the Apple Watch. So they put a lot more attention on the interaction part, on the user experience part, on even on how to make your hands not to be tired in a minute. So like, by the way, another thing, so you control with the gestures, but it's interesting that you select your element. You can like directly touch something if the screen is near you, but some screens will be far away. So what they're saying, instead of like physically touching, you're looking into specific element and like do something like pinch, but you don't have to have your hand in front of you. It can be on your lap or on the table or anywhere. And these cameras, which like look everywhere, they will capture that gesture and interact with it. And the next thing is like, again, like on top of that, so the headset controls, like basically knows where you're looking to, so that probably will be able to, you can create a heat map of like user eye movements. Well, you cannot, because even the highlight status of the element is not happening within context of your application. So the highlighting happens outside of your application, and you don't know if user is actually looking on a specific element on your application. You will only receive the interaction event like, I know, a pinch or something. So the privacy here is a key factor, and that actually brings one more topic here. They put a lot of efforts into making this device performance enough. So the screen refresh rate is typically 90 hertz, and that means that you they adjusted for the 24 FPS movies, so they can increase the refresh rate up to 96, something like that. But so it's adjustable, but at minimum it runs at 90 hertz. That means like you have 12 milliseconds per frame. And the important thing here, like if your scrolling lags on iPhone, that's terrible, but you can live with that. If picture is lagging on the thing which covers all your eyes and provides you visual information in like your space, you will be dizzy and you will feel not well. So you really need to hit that performance target. And one of the things they do is they actually render content at full resolution only at the place you're looking into. All other areas are rendered in the lower resolution. I mean, smart, definitely smart, but it also will require re-render everything when you when your eyes move. It's not your head moves, but rather eyes.
And going back to gestures for controlling, just before DubDub, there's just a long thread from Daniel Devesa and Stats about 365 days of iOS accessibility, and he posted 12 days ago he posted Apple Watch Assistive Touch cheat sheet. So there's just a gesture which you can use to control your Apple Watch without touching Apple Watch. And the beautiful thing that mostly they used the same gestures partially in Vision Pro. So it's good that they keep this consistency.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And by the way, you might think like this is the Vision Pro. You have to have a lot of visual information that's probably will be limiting to the users. Well, there are a couple of things happening with the accessibility there as well. So there are voiceover support. There is other technologies which, you can have the lenses, prescription lenses, in order to accommodate this device to your vision, and those will cost you money, but well, at least you will be able to use it properly. And it can work with multiple vision problems with the users, and it will still be an interesting device for those. So Apple does not sacrifice accessibility for the sake of like having some headset with the virtual reality. That's really great to see from Apple. We still need to actually like work with the devices, and if you're one of the developers who are going to build these kind of applications, you will need to get the like simulator will be probably coming in like next week, maybe something like that.
As I remember, they promised some dev kits for
Yeah.
early adopters.
They said that there will be enrollment for the dev kits in July. Again, enrollments probably will require you to submit your case. Like basically, like if they will not be sending dev kits to everybody, and they also promised labs. So you will be able to take your code, go to one of the Apple labs, and run it on the device there. So
similar to Apple Watch 10 years
yeah.
ago.
So the labs will be here in Cupertino 1. They will be in London, they will be in Munich, and there will be a couple of in Asia, I think Tokyo and Singapore. I'm not sure if there will be somewhere else, but I think these are lab locations. And again, in order to get there, you will need to have a like strong case for Apple to schedule you basically, because they will probably not be allowing you to get into the lab just I want to see this device in action like that won't work. Again, like having this huge announcement here, and basically like a lot of rumors, like not rumors, but analysts or pseudo analysts, they are telling that this device is doomed. They are naming one particular feature price, which is huge. We when we discussed, we were talking about like 2,500. Like, well, it's 3,500. It's really expensive. At the podcast, we definitely will need some fundraising to get at least one device here, but that won't work. Moreover, I think the sales will be constrained even within US. They will only be available in US initially, and they will be like this with this price. I think like even with this price, there will be a lot of adopters at that time, but there will be not too many devices available. So it seems that we will have to wait until mass adoption of this technology. And again, like by the time when we expect Apple to have more affordable version, hopefully there will be more technologies to build the screens for these things, and we'll be able to ramp up the all the components development, and maybe with that the components will also become a little bit cheaper. So maybe the Apple will be able to lower the price, not just because they were putting cheaper things, but rather they will be using the same like initial release of the Vision Pro, but it will be like cheaper to manufacture. So maybe.
However, Vision Pro is still cheaper than Mac Pro.
Yeah, it is, and also it's I think on par with Microsoft HoloLens, something like that. They are like at least quite close in terms of prices. So it's for the business users, that's probably more or less close in order to, and comparing with HoloLens, like the visual experience in HoloLens is just terrible. Like, let's put it that way. It's a very enterprise thing where you like don't want to use it anywhere else, like unless you require it to.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was.
I don't know what to say more about this.
Yeah, what we need to do next, we need to finally be able to touch the device and have our own like experience with that. That I don't know when exactly that would happen. We'll see. And we need to go through the sessions on our own. We need to go through all the content, and I'm not sure what will be the next topic for our next episode. We will have to think about that. But I think we might meet with you guys, listeners, viewers, somewhere in July. Yeah. Now we need some time to go through the sessions, and we need probably some time to start working on the things. Yeah. And hopefully by that time we might have some news on the Vision Pro device, Vision OS, and maybe some more like news restrictions or restrictions being lifted for the developers. Who knows? We'll see. And since we almost a year till the devices will be actually available. I mean, they will be starting sales in early next year, but I still think they will be hugely constrained, and there will be not too many devices available at first. And maybe by next WWDC there will be something new there on this topic.
So you have a lot of time to collect money.
Yeah, we will definitely. we will be looking into this.
Save some money from your lunches, and yeah,
a lot of lunches.
1 year of lunches.
Yeah, or maybe more. Okay, I think that would be it for today. Thank you for coming. Hopefully that was interesting to you. Write us anything, write us to Mastodon, to Twitter, to we also have this Instagram thing which has zero anything yet, but we will be probably posting something on Instagram as well. Leave your comments, subscribe to us on every platform you know, and leave us a review. Probably that will be it, and we will see you in July. See you.
Okay.
Bye.
See you. Bye.